Okay, so are you ready to dive into something luxurious today?
Always up for a little luxury. What are we talking about? Shoes, watches.
Even better handbags. But there's a twist. We're not talking about your usual big name brands.
Okay, now you've got my attention. What's the twist?
We're uncovering this whole world of Muslim-owned luxury handbag brands that are making waves in the industry.
Really, I have to admit, that's not something I know much about.
Me neither. That's why this deep dive is so fascinating. We've got a list of 23 designers to explore from all over the globe.
23, wow. That's impressive. So where do we even begin?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway here is the sheer diversity. When you hear luxury handbag, what comes to mind?
Honestly, Paris, Milan, those big fashion capitals?
Yeah.
Definitely not. Like Indonesia or Bahrain. Yeah.
And that's exactly what's so exciting. These brands are coming from all over Kuwait, Egypt, Malaysia, even Indonesia, like you said. It's truly a global group.
That's amazing. So they're challenging the whole idea of what a luxury brand should be.
Absolutely. And their designs are just as diverse as their backgrounds. We're talking opulent, Swarovski, crystal-encrusted pieces right alongside minimalist masterpieces.
Okay, now you're just teasing me. Give me some examples.
All right. Take Sophia Al Asfour, a designer from Bahrain. Her bags incorporate architectural elements like pyramid shapes, super unique.
Pyramid shapes. That's different. Is there a reason behind that?
It's all about her heritage. Pyramids hold a lot of cultural and historical significance in Bahrain. It's like she's weaving that into her modern designs.
That's actually really cool. It's like carrying a piece of history.
Yeah.
I love that. What else?
Okay, how about something completely different? Soa, a brand from Indonesia. They're all about traditional craftsmanship and natural materials.
Oh, so more of that sustainable luxury vibe. I'm all about that.
Exactly. But what makes Soa so interesting is that they use techniques passed down through generations in Indonesia.
Wow. So it's like preserving their artistic heritage while creating these beautiful contemporary pieces.
You got it. And it seems like a lot of these brands are really committed to that ethical production side of things, too.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just a buzzword for them. It's baked into their brand from the start.
Exactly. Like Octime, an Egyptian brand. They're all about ethical production and working with local artisans.
Okay, but what does that actually look like in practice? I mean, how do you create a luxury brand with that at its core?
I'm glad you asked because their story is super interesting. They work directly with these artisans in Egypt, making sure they're paid fairly and have safe working conditions.
Wow, that's amazing. So you're not just buying a bag, you're supporting a whole ethical supply chain.
Exactly. And it's not just Octane. Then Patina, another brand we'll dive into later, is all about sustainable luxury using recycled and ethically sourced materials.
Okay, I'm convinced this is so much more than just a new handbag trend. They're completely changing how we think about luxury.
Right. It's not just about the logo or the price tag anymore. It's about the story, the craftsmanship, the ethics.
Totally. It's about time someone shook things up.
Yeah.
So tell me more about these designs. What are we talking about here? What kind of aesthetics really capture this new wave of luxury?
Well, remember when we were talking about those statement pieces, those real showstoppers? Get ready because Marzouk, they're a Kuwaiti brand. They've got this bag, the mini sun orb, Swarovski crystals. It's covered in them.
You had me at Swarovski crystals. See, this is what I'm talking about. They're not afraid to be bold and glamorous, but with a modern twist. It's not your grandma's luxury.
Right. And then you've got NS by Noof. They're from Bahrain too, and they are all about those luxurious materials. Like, are you ready for this? Their Zane crocodile bag. It's made from camel croc skin.
Hold on, camel croc. Camel croc skin. That's a new one.
Yeah.
So what makes that so special? What is it about camel croc? It's all about that exclusivity, that unique texture. It's not something you see every day, unlike your typical crocodile skin. It's got this distinctive pattern, and NS by Noof uses it to create these amazing statement pieces.
Okay, so we've got the bling, we've got the exotic, but for every statement piece, there's got to be that classic elegance, right? That's where Seyfound comes in. They're a Turkish brand, and their leather handbags are all about clean lines, timeless designs.
They're proving that sometimes less is more. Quality over quantity. It's that understated luxury, that quiet sophistication.
And sometimes a whisper can speak volumes. But we've been talking about these ready-to-wear brands. What about that ultimate luxury experience? A bespoke piece, something made just for you.
Ah, you're speaking my language. Hamid Leather from Pakistan. That's who you need to know. Their bespoke bags are incredible. The attention to detail, every little stitch, every embellishment is custom-made, tailored to the client.
So we're talking about not just owning a luxury piece, but owning a piece of art.
Exactly. It's about expressing your own individual style, your story. It takes the whole experience to another level.
So we've got bespoke craftsmanship, bold statements, timeless elegance. Is there anything this list hasn't covered?
Well, we're just scratching the surface here. Remember, this is a global movement. Like Amina Mwadi, she's a Jordanian designer, super well known for her shoes, but her handbags, they're just as incredible.
Oh, right. I've seen her shoes everywhere. So the handbags, they've got that same bold, modern vibe.
Absolutely. Bold colors, unique shapes. You can tell it's her work right away. But it's interesting, she also incorporates these subtle nods to her Middle Eastern heritage into her designs. It's pretty cool.
I love that. It's like these designers are weaving their own personal stories into these brands. It's so much more authentic than just, chasing trends.
Exactly. And speaking of stories, there's this brand, Mimpakita, from Malaysia. It was founded by these three Muslim women who wanted to create a fashion line that reflected their own values, their own style.
Okay, so tell me more about them. What makes Mimpakita stand out? Okay, so tell me more about them. What makes Mimpakita stand out?
Their designs have this really cool balance, modern and minimalist, but with these subtle hints of their cultural background. Think clean lines, elegant pieces you could dress up or down.
Sounds like they really understand their customer, that modern woman, but staying true to themselves. Are there other brands taking a similar approach?
Definitely. Nailafar, also Malaysian, they have this great range of handbags. They're elegant, but also practical, like they were designed with the modern Muslim woman in mind.
It's like they get it. They're not just making pretty things, they're thinking about how these pieces actually fit into someone's life.
Exactly. And we haven't even touched on every designer on this list. Rina Sala clothing, for example.
You're just familiar? Oh, yeah, I've seen their stuff online. Their clothes are really distinctive. What about their handbags? What makes them unique?
Oh, they have this really elegant, modest aesthetic. It really speaks to a certain cultural sensibility. It's about celebrating beauty and style while still adhering to those values.
I love that. It reminds you that fashion can be such a powerful form of self-expression. It goes beyond just personal style, right? It's about your identity, your values. But as we wrap up here, we've covered so much ground. What's the one thing you want our listeners to walk away with from this whole deep dive into Muslim-owned handbag designers?
Honestly, I want people to rethink their whole definition of luxury. It's not about a logo, not about how much you spent. It's about the story, the craftsmanship, the ethics of these brands. They're shaking things up, showing the world that luxury can be diverse, inclusive, and still have a real sense of purpose.
You took the words right out of my mouth. This deep dive has been so inspiring. It's such a breath of fresh air, this whole world of talent that deserves so much more recognition.
Absolutely. And the best part, and this is really just the beginning for these designers.
And on that note, dear listener, we've given you just a taste of what's out there. Now it's your turn to keep exploring.
Think of this as a starting point. What other hidden gems are out there waiting to be discovered? What stories are these designers telling through their creations?
So many good questions to think about. Keep those in mind and happy exploring.